I wanted to go to the NBA, but
Oh well, yeah. You're the,
I fell short.
you fell short.
Literally.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 1 of the Paisano A Paisano. This is our first episode, so we are going to learn as we go. But we're excited. I'm Raul Hernandez here with Eric Ledesma and my brother Angel Hernandez. And yeah, we'll get right to it. This first podcast episode is going to be to make an introduction, just so that you get to know us a little bit better. We wanted to. We've been talking about this for a while. And I know that Eric will touch on that as well. Been a while, but we wanted to make a podcast that focuses around things that are very important to us. That's family, culture, and real estate. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the introductions. We'll start with Eric.
Yeah, no, it's a surreal moment right now to be filming the first episode because this is something that I've been thinking about for like years. You know, most of the equipment, I just kind of had it there in my basement for a while, and it's like, okay, what is the podcast going to be about? How are we going to do it? And it's like, as soon as I brought up the idea to you guys were like super down. And then now we're here. It took us a little bit to get it all together, but hopefully this is something that we're able to take on and do our best. But yeah, no, this podcast is important to us because we believe that we have a lot of information, a lot of things, a lot of connections that we can talk about, that for people like us that come from a Latino family or Latin roots, that are in real estate, business owners, anybody just, going through their own journey. And that's basically it. We're here to talk about our journeys and talk about everything that we do in the real estate realm. We're going to bring in some great guests with a lot of knowledge in the financial services and real estate, people that, have a lot of success, people that are just starting out. Like it's going to be broad and it's going to be awesome. But yeah, a little introduction about me. My name is Eric Ledesma. I've been in real estate now for 9 years. I've been married for about a year, almost. It happened last year.
Okay.
And I have a 4-year-old daughter who I love dearly. And I joined Paisano Realty. They opened up the doors for me last year. So in July of this year, it'll be 1 year that I've been here with you guys. It was a huge move for me because I looked everywhere and I knew specifically what I was looking for this time. I had been in different companies and in the past, and I just already had a really good idea of what I was shooting for. And I found that here with Paisano Realty. And this is just one of the things that we're working on together, but the collaboration has just been amazing. Like these guys, I built a friendship with these guys first before we jumped into business together, and it's just everything, that friendship has just been able to continue forward. So yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah. Thank you, dude. This is, I think this is, we talked about it a little bit of, about a year ago, and then 2 years ago, actually, I think.
Yeah.
But we're happy, obviously. I mean, the big thing is same thing we just talked about with the podcast, like family, culture, and this is definitely one of the things that one of the reasons why you're here, dude, because you fit in perfect.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have you, and
Thank you.
we're excited, obviously, what you've already done and where you're about to go, dude. We're just excited to be a part of it, too.
When did we meet, Eddie? Like, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago? I think.
Yeah, I think it was because, man, I'm trying to think. I think I was still in college, so
Yeah.
maybe was it right before COVID?
I think it was right after COVID, actually.
Right after COVID?
I think it was at Avanti. I sent you a
Oh,
DM.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, hey man, I think you're around my age, and I saw that you were doing good in real estate, and I wanted to connect with other people who were also doing things in the business, especially our age, because I think
Yeah.
we got into it around the same time. I got licensed when I was 19. I think you were also 19, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was around the same exact time, and
Just beat me by one.
yeah, I think you got 20, right?
20.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I reached out to you. I was like, hey, man, let's connect. I think we got, beer, and we just hung out. And after that, we golfed a couple times. And yeah, now we're in top golf leagues together. And it's like, what is year 3 of top golf?
Yeah. Yeah, that
Right.
thing has become a thing of its own.
Yeah,
But
no.
yeah, no, it was crazy, man, because I think that's one thing in this business that you don't really find too much. Like, of course, you're always gonna have people that are rooting for you and people that are not rooting for you. But I think, like, when you did send me that message, and it's like, hey, let's get together. It was like genuine. You wanted to, sit down and just hang out, and it was cool because I think then and then everything that has happened after that, we always just go back to the point of like we have a lot in common. Like
Yes.
we're the same age. We have done very similar things through our life. We got into real estate at the same time.
Right.
We like even our family dynamic is like the same,
Right.
like with our own families now that we're building our family, and it's just crazy, bro. But I mean, yeah, that friendship just naturally grew, and then I met Raul and golfed a bunch of times too, and then golf. A lot of great things happen on the golf course. A lot of great things happen on the golf course, and this is definitely one of them. But yeah, no, I mean, our friendship um, has just grown throughout time, and I'm just appreciative that you guys like took me in when
No, likewise, man.
that's right.
Thank you for
You fit right in, and we're ready to keep going.
right.
It's exciting, and it is cool. Like for me, I'm like the older agent on the team, but it's also cool to see you guys growing your families and like all this. I think that that's one thing is that when you have somebody that it's a friendship, you compete, but you also like push each other, and that's a big part of it.
And you're there to help each other too.
Exactly,
And that's a big thing about the team, right?
and I guess compete is not the right word, but it's definitely like you guys want to push each other, and that's huge, dude. I think that you have that kind of camaraderie, you have that kind of relationship, especially where you work. That's huge. No, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you started when is your anniversary?
So my,
This
my
year?
anniversary will be September of this year.
September.
So I think it's September 26th.
You'll be starting your 9th year.
So I'm already on year 9.
Oh,
So I'll
you're
be
already on
starting
your 9th.
year
Right,
10.
right.
Yeah. So I'll be starting my 10th year, and yeah, I mean, obviously real estate's all I've ever known. Like it's funny actually, Paisano was, so my dad started the business the year you were born in 1990.
No. That's when you got into the business.
Or sorry, that's when he got into the business, and he started Paisano in 1997. That was the year I was born. Right.
When I
And
was
so
born too.
yeah, it's been,
Yeah.
and you, yeah.
Ain't even our age, yeah.
Right.
So they're
Yeah,
born
we're
the
the same
year.
age. Exactly.
Crazy.
Same age as Paisano.
We're the same age as Paisano. That is true.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously,
Think about
we were around it all the time growing up. I'd go to showings, and I didn't really know what was going on. I was just, man, I want to go home, But
Summer
after,
vacations consisted of shows.
oh yeah. Summers were here at the office, man. But no,
Oh,
I
man.
wouldn't. It was cool. Like obviously, I didn't know what my dad was building then, right? And then to join it and become a part of it, and it's been cool. I think like on the team, I am mainly, I work with buyers more than anything, right? And you're the listing agent, you're the main listing agent,
On the team.
right, on the team. And but yeah, no, obviously this is all I've ever worked in. I've only worked in real estate. I finished my college degree. I took 5 years off, and I finished it last year, right? So I kind of had a
Right,
different.
but you finished.
Yeah, we finished it, right? And I've got a beautiful fiance at home, not a wife yet, but we're basically there, right? we
Están casados.
ya estamos casados, right? And then I got a 5-year-old son at home, AJ, and then we got a newborn. So she's about to be a month on Monday, right? So in a couple of days, and yeah, it's been a hell of a ride for sure.
It's been cool to watch, dude.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting that you bring that point up because that's true. Real estate was your first job, right? That was literally your first job.
I mean, I helped out a little bit at a restaurant for like a summer,
Mm.
right? But yeah, this is really where I started.
So you loved showing so much as a little kid. You were just like, I'm just gonna continue it through
I'm just gonna get my license.
forever and ever.
It's funny. My dad would be showing houses, and they'd have like these, PlayStations and all. I'd be like, man, these houses are vacant. No one would. No, as a little kid, those
Nobody's
intrusive
gonna
thoughts
know.
come in,
Nobody will see.
Like they won't know if I play a game or two, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing this now. So I got licensed in 2011, February 2011, and I was 20 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. I remember my first year. I think I helped 4 families. That was my first year. Was 4, and it was. But I kind of got Angel mentioned, that my daddy, he got a license in 1990 and he opened up Paisano in 97. And I feel like I was born into this. I really do. Summer vacations, you make a joke about it, but it was literally going to see houses and sitting with my dad in his office, hearing him talk to clients. And I remember back then, I used to think to myself, I was like, oh my God, these meetings take so long. And my dad just but once I got, grew up and got into the business myself, I truly feel like I learned from one of the best. I really do. So that's something that, we'll get a little bit more in detail into, kind of what that looked like and how that started. But to me, honestly, I think that we're just, I'm you too, dude. I think we're blessed to be taught by someone with experience, and that's my dad. That was something that, from the get-go, as soon as we got in the industry, as soon as we got our license, we knew what to do.
We were already showing houses.
Yeah.
We were kind of thrown into the field right away, and it was cool because our dad did help us, learn everything. I remember just sitting in his office and just clients would come in or he'd be writing contracts or whatever, and I'd just be sitting there absorbing everything, right? And I think that is something you can not take for granted, but I didn't really realize what it was until years down on the road, right?
You didn't realize that was I didn't realize we were learning while we were there. I didn't realize, and that's the things I think is also like, especially with something as big as buying a house, like the relationship part is so key. It's huge, and that's what I learned from my dad. That's what we learned from sitting there, seeing him meet with clients and do all that. So, yeah, but again, licensed in 2011. I was 20 years old. I'm 35 now. I have 4 daughters.
Damn.
Thanks, dude.
Do the math.
Yeah, do the math. But I have 4 daughters. My oldest is 11. I have twins that are 7, and then I have a 4-year-old that's about to turn 5. They are my world. I have my wife. She's my rock. I've been with her. We've been together since 2011, and we've been married since 2014. So it's been a beautiful life that I built with my wife. I really, really, truly do love my life. I love it. And living in a house with 4 daughters and my wife, I had to get another boy in the house. So we have a Great Dane. His name is Compa.
He's a horse.
He's a horse. He's a Great Dane. He's
huge.
big boy. But other than that, I think we've said the word golf like 20 times already in this episode. So we're
fans.
Yeah, we are fans.
Just a little bit, right?
We like to golf. That's kind of one of the biggest hobbies. But other than that, guys, my life, my hobby, my fun is in real estate. I truly do enjoy helping people, buy their homes, and that's something that I'm really happy to be a part of whenever I do get the opportunity to be a part of that. But yeah, that's we talk about business, we talk about license, we talk about that. But so tell us a little bit about you guys right now, just being dads and being in real estate, being busy, being everything. That's gotta be it's gotta be something, huh? So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, shout out to our wives because it's not easy to be a wife to a real estate agent. Like, as much as we love what we do, like real estate is just one of those businesses that just never turns off. And so I think that's where the biggest challenges for me happen, right? Like I think even at the beginning, like when I got into it, I think my story was a little bit different than you guys. Like I had no idea about real estate at all. Like I didn't even know anybody in real estate, truly. It came up as an idea from my brother one time that he mentioned it. And the closest exposure that I had to it was the fact that like my parents bought their first house directly from the owner that they were renting the house from. And I remember the agent coming to the house one time and just going over all the documents and just the contracts and explaining everything. So I always thought like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I just thought, I guess for sure, like you need to go to college for that, or, like I guess, I don't know. I never really thought about it too much. And so once I was looking into it, I had to like reach out to different people who I thought were in real estate, but I didn't know if they were in real estate or not. And, I had like all these questions prepared of what I was going to ask, what their life looked like, what they loved, what they didn't love. Like I just went in fully, right? Because I was like, I need to figure this out. Because I mean, you have to go through certain classes, and you need to go through, you gotta pass exams. And I was like, if I'm gonna go into this, I at least want an idea of like what I'm trying to get into it. But there's still a lot of stuff that you, even if you ask, like it's just rather different for everybody, right? And I mean, the first couple of years were just like super busy because I mean, I got into it in a way to be able to help me pay for college. Like I went to CU Boulder. I had enough scholarships for my first year, and as soon as my freshman year was done, I was like, I need to figure something out because some of the scholarships that I had still continue, but some of them were just like for your first year, and then after that, you kind of have to figure it out. And I was working at the at First Bank as a teller, and I was just like, man, like one day I was like running numbers, and I was like, if I'm here all year, at the end of the year, I think I was gonna end up making a little bit over $18,000, which is a good amount of money for the age. I mean, I was only 18, 19 at that point, but I needed like 10K for each semester just for tuition, plus living expenses and stuff like that. So I was like, I need to find something else. And, I just looked into real estate. And so I went and asked a couple people what it was. And I think that's one thing that I just got lucky too. Like I got lucky in the sense that I was able to find like a really good mentor. Shout out to Al Philip Neri. Like he took me under his wing and showed me my first steps and showed me in later on became my business partner and having a team. And I'm just super grateful for that because not a lot of people would say yes to a 19-year-old that's getting into this, right? Like there was no assurance for him of whether I was gonna take this seriously or not, or stick to it, right? And he just took me under his wing, and I learned a lot. So I mean, that's cool. Like that you guys were born into it because I think like that's one of the things that for anybody else that doesn't have a family member or somebody who they truly trust, like how do you find a mentor? I think that's one of the biggest like challenges that most agents will run into. It's like if you don't have the right mentorship from the beginning and nobody's like really directing you the right way, you might not close a deal. And then at some point you'll, start hating what you're doing because this is just a very involved business. And so I think bringing it back to the point of, our wives, like shout out to them, honestly, because it's like on the weekends, we got showings, we got open houses, we got clients with questions at 8, 9 p.m., sometimes at 10. You gotta, sometimes you have a deal blowing up on you almost at midnight. Like there's a lot of stuff that no matter how good you are in this industry, like real estate is just so different for every person, for every client, right? As much as you can try to prevent certain issues from happening or try to do whatever you can, that's the thing that I will say. Like as an agent, seeing other agents sometimes post and they paint it as like flowers and rainbows, like every deal is easy and we just did this in 2 weeks and all that. Yes, you can do like we do that for a bunch of clients too, right? But like I'm proud to say that we also get really, really tough deals done. Like they're not the easiest to navigate, but we get them done. And that's one of the things I will say, like your dad has a lot of experience, like a lot of experience. Before when I was just starting, I was like, I hate that agents that are just way more seasoned constantly telling me like, I've been in the business for 20 plus years, right? Like when I was in my year 2 or 3, I was just like, okay, whatever, right? Like I was like, social media starting and you don't even have a Facebook. So it's like, I thought I was competing back then, right? But now almost hitting 9 years in this industry, like even though I've only been in this office since last year in July, your dad has already helped me with several really tough deals that I don't know if I would have been able to fully figure out the way that I did had I not had him as somebody that I could go to. Like for some reason, I had dealt with hard deals before, but when I moved here, for some reason, I got like some really tough deals, and your dad helped me through those because of the experience that he has. Like 35 years in it, there's just like really nothing that your dad hasn't heard about, seen, worked on. So it's just like it's huge, So again, shout out to our wives because this is a very involved business. We work sometimes a lot of hours. Thankfully, we do have flexibility, and that's awesome. But yeah, man, like now having a daughter, that definitely changed things a lot for me. Being married, that changed a lot of things for me in a really good way. I think I'm a lot more focused, a lot more efficient with my time and the things that I do, um, how I show up for my clients as well. And so, I mean, it's been great, man. I mean, I love real estate. I do. It's just I think from the outside, like a lot of people think it's like way easier than it actually is. You know,
I think that's
it's
probably one of
it's
the
not.
craziest things is it might look easier. It might, the biggest thing I think with this industry too is that no day's the same. There's not a single that's the same. You can try to control your mornings, you can try to control your evening showings or appointments, whatever, but it's literally it is a 24/7 business. We've been here at times where we're at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. here at the office, and I still hear us on the phone calls. So I think that's something that, really being in the industry, and like you mentioned, some transactions are they're very cut and dry. And what I mean by that is it's, you find a home, inspection goes good, appraisal comes in great, we get a clear to close, and my client's very happy, we give them the keys. And then we have other transactions where we just don't know if it's going to happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then there we were at 2 a.m, like, I figured it out. I got an idea, but yeah, dude, my dad has saved some transactions where I'm like, there's no way this is going to happen. And it's not, it is that experience piece. I think that's literally what it is. And, I mean, another thing too is that I think it's also knowing that it's not just a deal. It's not just a deal. We want to really help our client, to make sure that we do. If we have to, we'll reach out to our legal department and kind of get some more information there to see how we can navigate through. And I think that's the big thing is, a lot of times when it gets tough, a lot of times people just quit.
Yeah.
And dude, if there's a way if there's a way, we are gonna find it. So that's huge. You think about like how many times like in the past, maybe had situations where you don't know how to navigate or something like that, and then the deal falls through, and then now you look back, you could be like, oh man, if I knew this back then, I would have done this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
I
the
mean,
cool thing is
that's
just learning and keeping it going.
and at the same time, like I think that's why I personally love real estate so much. Is like that not every day looks the same, right? Like even though some of the processes are the same, it's always going to be different people. We get to meet amazing people, see different things, drive around everywhere. Like it's so awesome in that aspect. Like like you guys jumped into real estate like pretty much almost right away. I mean, I went through different jobs, right? Like I
What
worked
did you do
at
before that? What did you do before?
my first job was at Kmart, like stacking shelves, and I did that for some time, and then I moved to Domino's and I made pizzas there. And then from Domino's, I went and worked at Three Margaritas as a busboy, like putting away dishes and
Which location?
the one in Brighton.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was something. And then after that, I went into like landscaping, construction, and then in college, I did a couple other things, including being a bank teller at First Bank. Worked at a couple little offices as like organizer and front staff type of thing. And then I landed in real estate. But I will say, like all those other jobs, I mean, they all taught me something. But the thing with those jobs, I think in general, is like I would be there for some time, and then after some certain time, I would be like bored, and I wasn't like really looking forward to going to work anymore
Thing every day.
because it was just like the same thing, same four walls, like. And some jobs are like amazing in that aspect. I mean, whatever fits anybody. But for me, I need to be like doing something different and learning all the time for me to stay like interested in something. I think with real estate, like if it wasn't constantly changing, I didn't have to constantly be learning. If it was just the same process, I don't know if I would still be in it, to be honest with you. Like,
Right.
I think I would have been bored about it at this point, but it's just like I'm constantly learning, and it has not changed in almost 9 years. And I don't think it's going to change because I mean, I see your dad 30 plus years in the business and he's still learning too,
Still learning.
right? So it's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, and then like right now, I think you have a commercial deal under contract. You have a fix and flip under contract. You have some residential properties under. So you kind of do. You have to keep learning.
Yeah.
You have to. And like commercial, I'll be honest. I'm not a. I haven't done many deals in commercial, but and thank goodness we've been very busy with residential. But I just did my first major commercial deal last month, And that was, I sold a restaurant, and I've never done that before. And that was a learning curve, like, but I loved it. Like you
Yeah.
said, it really keeps you interested. It's like, well, let me look into this. And I'm talking to city planners, I'm talking to building departments about, what they're gonna use it for. And it's interesting. It's very cool to keep learning. And the cool thing about real estate is that you're gonna use it again.
Yeah.
You're gonna, whatever you learn. So it's not like you learn something and just forget it. You'll be refreshed. Maybe you don't use it for another year, but you keep on learning.
Yeah.
Keep on learning.
You have to challenge yourself a bunch, and then like you said, our partners, our wives, right? Like if we don't even know what we're gonna do, like the next week, right? And it's very unpredictable, right?
Scheduling
Yeah.
plans, and
Right?
And like
that's-
even going on vacation, we do our best to like be present in the moment, but it's like for some reason we go on vacation or go out to the mountains or whatever, and then that weekend, that couple days is like the busiest. Like we didn't have all this stuff going on. We're like, oh, we'll be fine, we'll be able to relax, and then you go on vacation, and then it's like that's just like the curse of real
Well, that
estate,
was
right?
like
That's how you
even
get
the day my daughter was
curse and
born.
blessing, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The day my daughter was born, you went to a closing for me, and I was calling you like, "Hey, how's the closing going?"
And I'm like, get back to your can, take me alone.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Right? Yeah. But no, it is like a button that never turns off. But honestly, like I love what we do. Like it's not the same thing every day. We don't, it's some people will, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I think the fact that we do get to like try new things or meet new people, all the connections that we build too. Like some of my clients are like some of my best friends now, right? Like
Yeah.
and that's the cool thing. Like I've been to their weddings and their kids' birthday parties, and they've been to my kids' birthday parties, and it's kind of the relationships have grown, and I've met so many different types of people in the business, and I think that's what's cool too. You get to like I relate to some people maybe are in just a whole different part of their life, but we still have that middle ground where we meet and we connect. And I don't know, I really like this business because you do get to just meet people and experience a bunch of different stuff.
You meant, so you worked at Kmart, you worked at a restaurant, you worked in landscaping, and then you worked in real estate. So you got before I got into real estate. So I thought about this the other day because I saw somebody on Facebook post like, I'm new in real estate, just got my license, and they were talking about having multiple jobs, right? Being like still working part time here, part time there. So before I got into real estate, I actually didn't even want to be in real estate. I did not want to get into real estate. I wanted to be. I mean, and it wasn't anything against real estate. It was just like I'm around it all the time. Like I don't want to. This isn't. And I wanted to be a police officer.
I wanted to go to the NBA, but
Oh well, yeah. You're like
I
3
fell
feet off.
short.
You're like 3 feet. You fell short.
literally.
But the big thing was back then. I mean, I was young and I'm really happy things worked out the way they did. I'm very happy. I love what I do. I truly love what I do. But back then, I worked in a restaurant. So like you mentioned, being in a restaurant, that industry is something else. It's about hustle and you're not. The big thing is tips back in the day. So I remember when I got in the restaurant business, I was 13 years old. I was a busboy at a restaurant, and then probably around like 16, 17 is when I became a waiter. But during that time frame, I was even like a dishwasher. I was a chef assistant. I pretty much worked in all the aspects of being in a real estate or a restaurant. But I also think that's what really helped me to talk to people, to go to tables, and to just really you have to you have to bring the energy. They have to be able to just have a quick conversation. Not everybody wants to have a conversation with their waiter, but I really enjoy that opportunity of being able to talk to people, and then obviously Spanish. That was a big thing. We you go to school and you don't really speak much Spanish unless you have your friends, and so being in the restaurant business between 13 and 22 years old, that really helped me, I think, in communicating and learning there. And then during the time that I got my license, I remember I had 3 jobs technically. I was an assistant, I was a waiter, and then I was a real estate agent. That was my life between like 21 and like 23. And then we find out I want to be a dad, and I said everything else has to go away. I'm going to focus on real estate, and looking back since, but it is crazy when you think about that, like how your other jobs or how your pastor, whenever even you being around Paisano, being around everybody, and
Well, I think for me, maybe I didn't work at like I worked at the same restaurant, like
Yeah.
our uncle's restaurant for a little bit, but I think for me, what helped was just always being in sports. I was big in sports all year round, right?
Yeah.
And like you had to like talk to your team and stuff. And I was, I'd be the captain for a lot of those teams, and I had to kind of bring the team together whenever things wouldn't go our way or whatever, right? And it just kind of that's where I think I learned, just like being in sports, right? Because I didn't really work as many other jobs. It was a, you know, at that restaurant for like a summer. That's really all I did. And then after that, like my dad, I was here at this office organizing files and doing all that. And then before I got my license, like it was helping other people, agents show houses. Like I probably showed 200 plus houses before I even got licensed. You know,
Showed a lot of
I
houses.
showed a lot. I remember showing for everybody. And
That
then
sounds legal.
it is, guys. And no, but and
Just
obviously, I
kidding.
feel
It
like
is. I'm
people
sorry.
kind of like.
I'm like, skip this part, Angel. Oh, no.
Anyways,
It's whatever. At this point, it's grandfathered in. You know.
But that's the thing is I think that's key. A lot of times when you get in the business, you kind of just get thrown into like, all right, you're making calls, you're doing this, you're doing this. But I think learning gradually, and if you have the opportunity to learn, that's great. Or if you have a great mentor. I mean, I know you've talked about your mentor for many times to me. I know he was a big part of getting in real estate and being able to stay in real estate. But that's the other thing too, is it's only about having a mentor too. I think it's about the person that's learning. You have to be a good student. You have to be willing to implement. You have to be willing to learn, and that's the key thing. Not everybody truly takes in what they're learning, right? What they're being taught.
Yeah.
Somebody can sit there and teach you this is how you do it. This is how you write this contract. This is how you do that. And then sometimes you have those people that come up and they're like, "Hey, what did you tell me again last week?" And it's like, well, you had a good mentor. It's a good combination. Being a good mentor and being a good student, that's huge. That's what we were, dude. We were students for 5-10 years, and then we began to get in the business. So, yeah, it's been a fun journey. I know it's obviously this is our first episode. It's our first intro. Get to know us a little bit, but yeah, it's exciting. I'm very happy that we're here. We started this. I saw actually, what's funny is that, and I just thought about this right now. I remember like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you posted. We were doing some podcast. You were trying to learn. I think you were doing that in your basement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I did like built a whole studio in my basement and was like all excited to do something. There's a lot of moving pieces to this, right? Like, thankfully, we found Chancellor behind
Shout out
the
Chancellor.
screens over here. Because if you don't have that, it's like this is a whole nother world. Like you can try to do it by yourself, but it's, and then that's the other thing. It's like, we're just constantly busy, right? So it's like at some point you kind of have to weigh out, like at the end of the day, you've worked a long day, you get home, you're like, do I spend time with my family, my wife, my daughter, or do I work on this, right? Like so that piece of it gets a little bit different. Like, it was different for me because I mean, I was already doing real estate before I had my family, and man, I was like working, but I mean, I was like, in the moment I was fine because I was like, whatever, I would be working 10, 11 p.m., midnight, like every day. And I just kind of got used to that, which isn't healthy either. But, having a family, like, it just really brings you into like, okay, you can't be like working all the time. Like, that's not good. You gotta be present. You gotta show up for your family, for your kids, your wife, And I think that's one thing that I appreciate too, because it's like, if I was just by myself, I'd probably just keep working all the time, Like, there's never enough time in the day for what we do. There's always going to be something new that you got to be doing. And so, yeah, shout out to Chancellor for doing this with us because, yeah, we've been thinking and talking about this for a while. And then now we're here, first episode. So, but this is going to be like no scripts. We're just talking straight from what we have experience from the heart. Like, we're not going to sugarcoat anything in this podcast. And that's, I think, an important like point that we have to drive for all you guys, because like, we're going to be real about the things that we deal with, how this, things in the industry, connections, business, family, culture. Like, we're just going to like speak and our minds off and be honest about everything, like, again, like us, I think collectively have been in real estate for a good amount of time. We've worked with a lot of different people. We work a lot of different deals. I don't want to say we're like experts in everything because there's no such thing in real estate, but we're going to be providing just the facts straight from what we know. And again, bringing amazing guests. So this is going to be the flow.
Well, we got a lot of cool topics, guys. I mean, we do want to touch, I mentioned that we're family, culture, real estate. It's not just gonna be talking about real estate every single podcast. We're gonna have different topics to talk about, but big thing when it comes to like culture, we were gonna touch on as far as different ways to well, one thing going in with family and with culture is like how we were raised, what our sacrifices our parents made. I know we talked about
Yeah.
that too. We're all proud sons of immigrants. We all are, and that's something that's huge. And especially right now, with a lot of people, may not want to talk about it, but we will scream it from the rooftops. Like, we're very, very happy to be
Yeah.
who we are, and who we we're blessed to work with our family, but at the same time, even if I didn't work with my family, learning everything I have from them and their past struggles and everything, that's a whole nother episode. We'll
That's
get
a
into
whole
that.
other episode.
That's literally going to be crazy. And I hope
Yeah.
my dad, I really do hope my dad. I want to share some things about his upbringing, and I hope he's here to talk to me, talk with us about it. But that, guys, is something that that's what I'm excited to talk about. I'm very, very, very proud of who we are and who we're surrounded by. But yeah, this is our first episode. So guys, anything you guys want to finish up on? Anything you guys want to include before we conclude this first episode?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited. This is gonna be a cool series, and I know we've been talking about this for a while, and I've been thinking about this for a long time, right? And I think with the right team, we've learned to stay in our lane. Like, we're not good at putting this together. We
learning as
we
we
found
go.
the right people, right?
Yeah.
So no, I'm super excited for everything to get started, and just to share more about like what we've been through and what we're seeing. And honestly, like you said, it's not just gonna be real estate related. We want to make this somewhere, just a fun podcast where people can learn, where we can learn, bring people on, and just kind of go from there.
Yeah. No, and I mean, if you've watched this far, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and staying here with us this long. We just want to deliver like really good information, and that's, I think, the whole basis of this, right? Like, we can post on social media and all that, but like, it's never really going to capture the ins and outs of everything that we have to talk about. And we're just going to try to cover as much topics. Again, we're all in real estate, so a lot of the topics are going to be based around real estate. We'll run different scenarios, different types of deals. We'll talk about things that we've experienced, good or bad, beautiful or ugly. Like, we're not sugarcoating anything in this podcast, just being completely raw from the things that we've seen, things that we're seeing as the market continues to move forward. And yeah, I mean, so we're all on the same page in terms of we're married, we have family, we're all from Latin roots. So, if you identify with any of those or connect with us in any aspect mentioned, this is going to be a good podcast for you. We want to provide like really good, what do they call it? Like golden nuggets for you guys, like things that, you guys are going to potentially be able to take and learn and do more of. And so thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys being here. And yeah, that concludes our first episode.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
De Paisano A Paisano. Thank you so much.